Welcome to GPTalks. Thank you for joining me, and today we're going to be talking about the first step in building your personal brand. This is going to be an essential step for you to build your online presence and market yourself on the job market. But before I get there, I would like to ask you to donate $5 to my Movember campaign. That is why I have those ridiculous mustache. I know I look like a creep, not the best look ever, but I'm doing this for a good cause. There will be a link down below, so please go to my personal profile on Movember.com campaign, and if you feel like you want to support this movement, please donate $5. Thank you so much. And now let's get started with building your personal brand. In the previous episode, I asked you to list all of your work experience thus far, all of your education and all the courses you took, all of your skills that you have, and all of your achievements that you have thus far. All of that is going to be key element to build your personal brand. In terms of building a personal brand from job market point of view, the obvious tool to use is LinkedIn. But before I will show you how to build a very good looking profile, I want to stress out on one element, which is you have to have a very well put together profile. For everybody out there who thinks that they can find a good paid job in professional environment and can get away with not having a LinkedIn profile, I would say good luck. I'm not saying it's completely impossible, but it's becoming harder and harder. And it's because the way how recruiters work. You see, recruiters would love to validate you as a potential candidate for the employer that they're going to send your paperwork. On LinkedIn, if you don't have a profile, there is nothing to validate you against other than recommendations. So they might not want to take a risk on somebody who they simply cannot validate. They might just move your resume to the side and never looked at it again. So for everybody who thinks that their privacy might be in jeopardy, or they feel like this is just not the tool that they want to use to market themselves, I would say think again. LinkedIn is absolute basic, a step one of many that you have to take in order to get noticed, and that ultimately will step by step push you towards getting your dream job. One other element that I want to really stress is that LinkedIn and resume don't have to be exactly the same and one-on-one. LinkedIn is primarily a source of knowledge about you and everything that is related to you. A resume is a document that shows how you are a good fit for the particular role that an employer is looking people for, to fill that role. So there is no need for keeping one and the other exactly the same. Now, it might be a bit counterintuitive because you might say, well, is recruiter going to take my resume, look at it and see the content of my LinkedIn profile and say it's different, therefore I'm lying in my resume? We're going to address that once we're going to get into building particular blocks of your resume. But your LinkedIn profile has to be your basic profile and your base for further improvements. And on top of that, it has to have everything that is important about you to show how great of an employee or a subcontractor you might be. Therefore, it has to contain everything. Now, a resume is only going to contain all the elements that are relevant to the position you are applying. And in a good resume, you can even say at the bottom that for more details or for more content or for another list of achievements or wider view on your education, you invite people to review your LinkedIn profile, because this is where you keep everything. That is why that list from the episode 1 of this series is so important, that you have everything listed one by one. Now, LinkedIn has multiple tools that will allow you to sort of follow the wizard and guide that will sort of help you build the profile. So obviously put in the basics, like all of your education and work experience, and just put in the base frame, so your dates, your employer name, your position name. Now, when we're going to get into building your actual content of each of the blogs, I'm going to explain to you how we're going to structure them. But for now, just build a general structure of your profile. Very important is to add a very good photo. So what I would advise you on doing is take either a good DSLR camera or a cell phone that can take rather good photos. Dress up. You don't have to wear a suit, or women don't have to wear something like very super elegant, but try to avoid complete casual look. Maybe something in between is nice, some color shirts or something like that. And try to have a good profile picture and try to smile a little bit, try to have a rather natural look, but make sure that the photo looks professional. And by that I mean you don't do any crazy facial expressions, you don't show any fingers or some stupid hand gestures, you don't wave at people or do anything like that. Try to keep it professional. Typically that kind of photo will draw more attention than something that might put people off. And remember that photo is one of search results. When people search for let's say a project manager, a list is being shown with the photo and the title. And if they look for a project manager, all of people that will be shown, there will be their names and the title will be a project manager. So the only difference that the search results is going to provide is the actual name of the person and a photo. And if a photo is bad, it is not inviting a recruiter or a future employer to click on that profile. So make sure to have a very good photo. Now let's get to the important part, which is your personal description. If your dream job is, let's say, a business analyst, your personal information and sort of the summary of your profile needs to portray a message that you are a business analyst. Even if you don't have that much work experience or you don't have education that will support that directly, you have to specify something in description, in your summary, that will make you look like a business analyst or somebody who at least understands it. Same goes with any other profession. If you are a Java developer, if you are a marketing specialist, if you are logistic manager, or even if you are an entrepreneur that just looks for more client, you have to make sure that your personal summary makes you look like the person that you want to be or you want to be hired as. That summary is typically the first part that the recruiter is going to read, and also one of very few elements on your website that they're actually going to read. Once you have your summary done, it's time to work on your experience. You might already have the basics filled out, like your dates, employer name, your position. Now it's time to work on the content for your summary of that particular experience element. So what is very important is that you have a lot of space over there and you can use it. On a resume, typically a North American resume is only 2 pages long. So everything is typically very cramped and you don't have that much space. Here, you don't have to limit yourself to 2 or 3 bullet points. You can easily have up to 5 bullet points, and each one of them can explain how you are a good fit for a role that you are going to take. Now notice that I said that this is something that should show how are you a good fit for future employment. Let me explain that. First of all, in any professional job, we typically do multiple things. As long as you don't work on a conveyor belt and your job is to screw in that one screw every single time for 8 hours a day, most likely you are responsible for multiple things. So what is very important is that your past experience portrays a message of you being a good fit for the future experience. So it is very important that you're going to write your past experience as something that is related to your future dream job. Now let me use myself as an example and explain that. Not all of my work experience is directly related to project management. But if you read through my description, every single bullet point touches on something that project management is about. Either I have experience related to managing budgets or schedule or project planning, or I can manage people, or something that is related to managing customers or working with stakeholders. Always something that ties into a general theme of project management. Whenever you read any of the bullets, I always stress out with keywords like schedule, project, team, achievement, accomplishment, opportunity, goal, result. All of those keywords sort of combined build a profile of somebody who understands project management. Of course, I do have some experience as a project manager, a few years actually, which obviously helps. And I have specific certification that also is related to project management that also helps. But even if you read a few years back in my work experience, I always try to show that I am a project manager, or at least I did something that is related to project management in my past experience. Now, after 5 bullet points that explain what did you did for your previous employer and at the same time portray a message of your future role, it's time to put an achievement, something that makes you look like somebody who put a hard work in and achieved something at that particular position. And that achievement can be anything. Again, go back to your list of your achievements and try to find an achievement at that employer that is relevant to your future position that you're going to be applying for. So something that shows that you will be able to perform the work that you're going to be trusted with. And those achievements can be anything. They don't really have to be that big or that great. You don't have to earn millions or save millions of dollars. You don't have to manage 50 people or anything of this sort. Any achievement is better than nothing. And this is also something that will allow you to insert even more keywords that while searching for the position and for the person for that position, you are going to show up on those results. So make sure that you have a good achievement at the bottom of each experience block when you put your LinkedIn profile. Now, as obvious as it might sound, for every element of experience you have on your LinkedIn profile, you should have recommendations, at least one, preferably 2. Those recommendations should come typically from either your coworker or your direct client. And don't be shy and ask for them. Sometimes it's very hard to get them because people typically don't really want to put time into writing them. But if you ask politely and you sometimes need to remind yourself once or twice, you might get them. The more recommendations you have, the easier it is to convince a recruiter or a hiring manager at the company you are trying to get to that you are a person that is credible and has the good work ethic, can deliver on the promise of solving the problem that you're going to be hired to solve. The next part on your LinkedIn profile should be your skills. And that is quite easy. You just pick them from the list, you search, and they will show up on the list, and you can then add them to your profile. What is very important is to ask anybody you can to actually click that little plus icon and show that you have that skill. The more people you ask to do, the more people click, and then that list grows. And at some point it will take the entire space on your profile in terms of the length that it shows. The more people you have, the better. Once it shows that you have entire length and that many people confirm that you have that skill, it is very easy to convince the recruiter or hiring manager that you truly have the skills required for the role that you're applying. Now on to education. Obviously put in all of your college, university, technical universities, all of your degrees that you have. But don't forget about online courses. Make sure to add them as well. If you review my profile, you will see that I include Coursera courses that I finished. Coursera and other online learning platforms might not be considered a reputable source of education, but they are a reputable source of knowledge. You might not have the certificate that shows that you finish a degree in online university, but it is easily showing that you have the skills and knowledge required to do the job that you're going to apply for. Therefore, make sure to include all of your online education alongside your actual formal education. So those are the basics of creating your LinkedIn profile and basics of creating your online presence. In future episodes, we're going to focus on improving your profile even more and also adding other places in which you can build your online presence. Again, the more of it, the better. The more eyes you put on your profile on your LinkedIn account, the better. The higher the chance of somebody noticing you and then giving you a chance. That is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please click like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to be notified when a new video comes out, and comment with any questions that you might have at the bottom. I will try to answer all of them. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.